with another video up here in New England. Do a different spot this time than my last one. Taking the dive here. This day we saw a lot of fish, way more than we typically see up here. You can see a little baby pollock here. It was a really successful dive. So you can see me here looking at this Cunner. I'd shut that light off, hoping it might bring them back out. So I take a shot there, and you can see I grab that spearhead or spear shaft and I push it further in. I've been having problems all day with not getting enough penetration, even on Cunner and pollock. So I pushed that spear shaft in, and then obviously underneath the rocks had a really hard time retrieving it. So I had to come back up for air and go back down. But once I was able to take a second and actually go down and look at what was going on, you can see here, you can see the fish tail. I actually was able to scoot that out of the rocks really easily without destroying my shaft. So back up on the surface of the fish, this is just me braining it. I have a new setup with my camera, so whenever I'm braining it or have a fish kind of close to my chest, I get really poor footage of it. Now, I was pretty far from my float, and I really don't like doing this kind of stuff, especially with how many great whites we've had off the coast lately, or just off the shore. But I was pretty far from my float, so I just threw the Cunner on my spear line and continued diving. So with this dive on this day, I was actually spearing with a guy I'd never gone with before. His name's Alan. He's from New York, and I wanted to bring him to a spot that pretty much kind of knew we were going to at least see some fish. This is a really good spot for pollock here, and if anything else failed, I knew I could at least get him a pollock. But on this dive, I actually ended up finding a flounder. You can see me scanning the rocks. I worked a sandbar for quite a while until I finally found one. So I took a shot, bounced off the rock below it, picked up the spear, and I was able to push it on through. Nice little flounder, nothing crazy. So this was actually one of the first dives of the day, and just how I chopped it up. It's going to be kind of towards the middle to end. I almost didn't even put this footage in, because one, I just hate it when it happens, but I figured to be true to the footage and kind of understanding spearfishing, it should stay in. This was the third dive that these pollock have been hanging around. Tried grunting. So you see I take a shot, and it was a perfect shot. The only thing is I didn't have enough oomph behind that spear. And where this was one of the first shots of the day, I think this was the first shot of the day for me, the spearhead was still pretty sharp. But sometimes it just doesn't go in far enough to deploy. So that pollock was in the beginning of the day. This was towards the end of the day of this dive. We had spotted this tog a few times, and you'll see it in the footage. I dove really hard for this tog. Finding tog up where we are of New England isn't super common, and they're one of the better target species. So when we have a chance to get one, we love to bring one home. So after personally seeing that tog the first time, I dove the same area probably for close to an hour. And here I'm checking all these big rocks and was just barely able to see it. I took that shot expecting to be able to get the shot and take the tog home. But I don't know what happened. It looked like in the water that I hit it, I reviewed some of the footage. Still don't know exactly if I had hit it and the spear just bounced off, or what had gone on with that. But this is me continuing. I know Tog around here really like to hide in these holes, and so I'm checking everywhere I can. Some really nice caves here. Now you're going to see as I come up, going through these school of fish, comes out of nowhere. Took a shot and I got really lucky on this shot here. If I hadn't stoned this Tog, he most likely would have pulled off and gone away. So this is a great way to end my dive for the day. And you can see a 55-second dive, new PR, since I started recording anyways. And now the rest of the footage is just going to be me checking out holes, kind of exploring things. You can see I'm looking at a hole here, but I got a pipe to my left, which I'll point the camera into. I have a little lobster. Now where we are, we're not legally allowed to take these. Some states you can, but when we're in right now, you're not able to. So with me shooting that Tog, that was how I ended my dive. It was the last fish I took for the day. The rest of this footage is just going to be me kind of checking things out, checking out the rocks. I'm going to be putting on some music here shortly. But I wanted to put and kind of show it. The footage that you're watching is a lot cleaner. It's a lot more crisp. The reds are really deep. I'm going to put on here in a second, after I pause this audio, just what diving here actually looks like. So here it is, the famous New England green for the dives. It looks really gross on footage, but this is usually what we're actually seeing when we're diving these locations. Everything's super tint. The water's super murky. Going in on the backside, you can actually clean up a lot of that. And here, this is new edited footage. And it looks like you can see forever, but that's just a kind of a trick from the cameras. But anyways, I appreciate you guys coming and checking out the video. Enjoy the rest of it.